Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me here today. I'm going to talk to you a bit about Breezio. We're a software platform designed for community engagement to enhance your community. It's a software as a service patented technology. So I'm just going to talk through three different things today. One is just to explain a bit about Breezio, where we came from, why we designed the product the way we did. And secondly, talk about engagement and talk about how collaboration has moved beyond file sharing and email. Still seem to get stuck in that a bit. Have some ideas about how to increase engagement through some of the features in our software program. And then finally end with the elusive ROI. This is a tough area to show that. Others have talked about that today, and we'll talk about that more. So it's a little bit of background about Breezio. Breezio is a software that's been in development for several years, but launched just last year, and really came with the notion of putting three things together: a social platform, a learning management system, and a content management system. And the confluence of those three help people have knowledge networks. And again, it's kind of been a theme throughout the day. We've heard about where networked and communities are a way of leadership in the future, as opposed to an organization-led approach. And so it's really been in the core part of the development of the software. So we have a five-step process for bringing together a community. And really the first step is to think through with clients as to what is the strategy, and create a timeline for how to bring a community along. Because one of the really important parts is having a framework and recognizing that community management, there's a maturity level. And so where are you in that maturity level? How can we help bring you along that path? And then it's important for us to get that sense and then design the product to best work with whatever organization's trying to achieve. And some of the customizations come around integration, and as we all know, that there's just many different platforms. So we work to have seamless integration with other platforms, other software tools. That's really a loss of community engagement if people have to come off of one thing and go to something else. And then our fourth step is to have a training program, train the trainers, anyone who's a super user of the program, really help other people learn. And again, part of that collaboration is having others be the advocates within the system, and then finally launching Breezio into a community. And so just to say a little bit more about Breezio, and talked a little bit about the three components in terms of the types of communication. We have all the standard things, being able to chat or have a video conference, but what's unique is being able to communicate over content, so inline commenting on different articles that are part of the system, being able to share and learn. And so another unique feature is when a video is brought into the system, we're able to do a timestamp commenting. So again, let's talk about video, and there's so much on the video space. How do we share and learn? These are the types of things that have been incorporated into the system. And also the learning management component, being able to curate best practices, information in one place, being able to have some of this continuing education, being able to track that and have that as an organized place. So again, when a little bit of a deeper dive as this, their second step of onboarding and bringing somebody onto the Breezio platform is really working through the strategy first and assuring that the goals are aligned with the intended outcomes for a community management endeavor, and just really important part of making sure the content strategy is in alignment with what's going forward. From an operational point of view, it's critical that there's alignment across the entire organization at the highest level, and then also to have a dedicated community manager as part of driving the day-to-day operations. Absolutely cannot build it and they will come, because there really needs to be an ongoing strategy that's thought about on the day-to-day perspective. And then coming down to the tactics, the personal versus automated component, I think when we talk about somebody newly coming into a new software system, a high touch, personal touch, you can have choice around it, but we've heard a lot about new members and how they come in. It's a similar type of thing for this type of endeavor with a new software platform. So talking about what is engagement and thinking about this in a framework, a community maturity model, the very first step, if there isn't much of a strategy, then you really want to make sure that you understand the steps towards getting to a highly evolved strategy that is across the organization, embedded in the strategy and the budget, that there's actually budget attached to it. That really is what evolves from a stage 1 up to a stage 4. This survey is done annually by Community Roundtable and really talks through where people are at. It really gives a nice framework. So if you think about your own organization, if you were about to embark on this, if you're at stage 1, what kinds of things do you need to do to move towards stage 2, stage 3? And then appreciating that the community is made up of people. The same type of thing can happen in terms of the persona. There can be 5 different types of people. Again, Susan used kind of low, medium, high. The model talks about kind of an inactive, a lurker, a contributor, a creator, or a collaborator. And we want to help find ways in our software platform to bring people from those different less involved to more involved individuals and contributors. And we experienced this directly with one of our customers. We had a stage 1 community. We had nearly everybody was inactive or lurker engagement. And so what we needed to do with them is actually know where we were. There had great tools and content, so the content was there, but the engagement wasn't. And so working with them to actually have the budget towards a community manager and then bring that to the next level. So it's important to know where you are to where you want to go. Really can't go from this stage all the way to a fully engaged stage and really recognize the strategies and tactics and how to get there. So what's next? I mean, we've heard a bit about this elusive ROI and what kinds of things can we do to measure success. And there can be a lot of counting and quantitative numbers, and then there can also be, if we take about this evolved and maturity, where are you on the maturity level? An important count has to do with true collaborators. So when is it that somebody's gone not just to contributing and adding something into a community, but actually engaging? So sharing knowledge, creating something with another person. So our feeling is that some of the things that can be done to look at ROI is bring somebody along that pathway from not being involved to being involved, and that's where the return on investment. So it's not also just about getting somebody to move along that pathway, but people who are sponsoring or the ones that are trying to get this community moving, are reports being generated? And if things aren't happening the way you want it, what actions are being taken to change behavior? And you can see, again, through this survey that was done, the very last piece, able to measure an ROI community, is still, even from the most evolved groups, very low. So as we learn more, as we think about ways to move into a more mature state, this is a place of innovation. So in thinking through what's it going to take in order to move down that path, certainly it's going to take leadership and a commitment, budget to move an organization along this path of maturity. One of the things, as I was just talking about, is trying to find this ROIs that work. One size doesn't fit all for something like this, and there could be measurements that can be done nowadays with software platforms. There's really just an an ever-ending amount of data that can be collected. And then it's just a matter of really finding what metrics make the most sense and what kinds of interventions can be done. How can we use technology in a way that most brings somebody in and get towards the end goal of collaboration. And then tying that to the business model. So we heard some ideas about how business models are shifting, and really this is trying to have a software and a tool to align with that. So if you're interested in learning more, we have a number of different social media ways of watching us. We have a video on our website. You can see a little bit more about Breezio.